What's up, X-treme kids of Ottawa and around the world? This is First Lady Kay, and this is your midweek story time, where we are reading My First Message Bible, a devotional Bible for kids by Eugene Peterson for ages 4 to 8. X-treme kids, this week we're going to be reading Elijah Hears a Quiet Voice in 1 Kings chapter 19. And while you're turning to that page, I want to thank all of our X-treme kids for emailing us at ottawachurchkids@gmail.com and for doing all of your wonderful challenges. It's so wonderful to see and hear you and to be able to send you wonderful gifts in the mail. Be sure to continue to do your challenges so we can continue to send you your prizes in the mail at ottawachurchkids@gmail.com. So let's get started. The wicked queen Jezebel heard that God's prophet Elijah was attempting to turn the people against the false god Baal. Jezebel immediately sent a messenger to Elijah with her threat. The gods will get you for this, and I'll get even with you. By this time tomorrow, you'll be dead. When Elijah saw how things were, he ran for dear life to Beersheba, far in the north of Judah. He then went on into the desert another day's journey. He came to a lone broom bush and collapsed in its shade, wanting in the worst way to be done with it. To be done with it all, to just die. Enough of this, God. Take my life. I'm ready to join my ancestors in the grave. He was so exhausted. He fell asleep under the lone broom bush. Here's your first challenge, X-treme kids. Why was Elijah running away from the wicked queen? Dun, dun, dun. Let's continue our story. Suddenly, an angel shook him awake and said, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and to his surprise, right by his head were a loaf of bread baked on some coals and a jug of water. He ate the meal and went back to sleep. The angel of God came back, shook him awake again, and said, "Get up and eat some more. You've got a long journey ahead of you." He got up, ate, and drank his fill and set out. Nourished by that meal, he walked 40 days and nights all the way to the mountain of God, to Horeb. When he got there, he crawled into a cave and went to sleep. Here's your challenge number 2, X-treme kids. Why was Elijah tired and hungry? What did God do to help Elijah? Then the word of God came to him. "So Elijah, what are you doing here?" "I've been working my heart out for the God of the angel army," said Elijah. "The people of Israel have abandoned your covenant, destroyed the places of worship, and murdered your prophets. I'm the only one left, and now they're trying to kill me." Then he was told, "Go stand on the mountain at attention before God. God will pass by." Here's your next challenge, X-treme kids. How did God speak to Elijah? Think of ways God could speak to us. Remember, X-treme kids, you can do your answers written or audio, or you can do a video, or you can draw me a picture, whatever is good for you. Some of you have done some skits, which I really loved. A hurricane wind ripped through the mountains and shattered the rocks before God, but God wasn't to be found in the wind. After the wind, an earthquake, but God wasn't in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, fire, but God wasn't in the fire. And after the fire, a gentle and quiet whisper. When Elijah heard the quiet voice, he covered his face with his great cloak, went to the mouth of the cave, and stood there. A quiet voice asked, "So Elijah, now tell me, what are you doing here?" Elijah said it again. "I've been working my heart out for God, the God of the angel armies, because the people of Israel have abandoned your covenant, destroyed your places of worship, and murdered your prophets. I'm the only one left, and now they're trying to kill me." God said, "Go back the way you came through the desert to Damascus. When you get there, anoint several men I will show you, including Elisha, to succeed you as a prophet. Meanwhile, I'm preserving for myself 7,000 souls, the knees that haven't bowed to the god Baal, the mouths that haven't kissed his image." Elijah went straight out and found Elisha in a field where there were 12 pairs of yoked oxen at work plowing. Elijah was in charge of the 12th pair. Elijah went up to him and threw his cloak over him. Elijah deserted the oxen, ran after Elijah and said, "Please let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, then I'll follow you." "Go ahead," said Elijah, "but mind you, don't forget what I've just done to you." So Elijah left. He took his yoke of oxen and killed them. He made a fire with the plow and tackle and then boiled the meat, a true farewell meal for the family. Then he left and followed Elijah, becoming his right-hand man. Wow, that's wonderful, X-treme kids. Here's your next challenge. How did God speak to Elijah? Think of ways that God could speak to us. Our next challenge, X-treme kids, is our prayer challenge. Our prayer challenge for this week is thank God for talking to us through the stories in the Bible. Tell him about stories you especially like. Thank him for always listening to our prayers. Ooh, that'll be a wonderful prayer to read today. And living out the word of challenge for this week is ask your family and other people older than you if they have ever heard God speak to them and find out what happened. Wow, maybe you could even write a story about what happened. I would love to read that story. X-treme kids, thank you so much for being with us this week. I can't wait to hear from you at ottawachurchkids@gmail.com. Remember, send all of your answers for a special prize in the mail. And remember to keep dreaming X-treme. We'll see you next week. This is First Lady K signing off.